Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you watching this video. I welcome you all to the live mint analysis that I do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Now due to the festive season and your exams, I had paused on this analysis for about 2 3 for about 1 week. I think I did not take up this class, but now from today I'm resuming this live mint analysis wherein we discuss the important news in detail. We try to link it with the static portion. We try to do a few MCQs also at the end. Okay, so this is very important from all for all you aspirants, because we try to holistically cover everything and you get a good overview. This is also going to help you in your descriptive answer writing. This will also help you in your MCQs part. Okay, so let's not waste time. And before I begin, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Olive Board app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate YouTube class PDFs folder. You can download the PDF from here. Now, before I begin, we're going to see what will we cover today. And just let me know in the comment section whether my audio and video is clear so that we can have the class in a smooth and continuous manner. A very good morning to you, John, Sudarshan. I'm also sharing my Telegram handle over here for those who are new and want to connect with me beyond, these sessions. I'm writing it over here. Just type Mannat Educator and you will have access to my Telegram account. Okay. Now let's take a look at what are we going to cover today. Firstly, core sector output. We're going to talk about the core sector, which all sectors are part of this core sectors and why is it called a core sector, that we're going to see. Okay, the core sector output growth slows over here. Okay, so let's see. Plunge in precious metals hits recent bullion ETF buyers. We're going to talk about what exchange traded funds are and what is actually happening to this precious metals. We know that the silver prices and gold prices were skyrocketing, है ना? But we saw a dip, a little bit of dip. So let's see what is this news about. Then Google unveils quantum computing breakthrough. Let's understand what quantum computing is. Okay, which is again important. You can get a question directly from here. Indian rival to GPS gets boost from new BIS norms. So we are talking about what? We are talking about our indigenous NavIC, okay, which is an alternative to the global positioning system of the US. Okay, so this is the navigation satellite which provides us with satellite services, network and satellite services. ठीक है, तो ये indigenous है NavIC, है ना? So we're going to talk about it. Then China against India in WTO. China has put forth some, China has said that India is providing some PLI incentives which is against the WTO norm. So let's see what is China saying. Why are China and US ratcheting up trade war again? So again, now there is a kind of trade war between China and US. They are retaliating. They're saying that I'm going to put in retaliatory tariffs, and also again there is a rise in these tensions between the two countries. So let's see what we're going to talk about. Then we'll cover a few fact-based news, and at the end some MCQ practice questions we're going to do. Good morning, Bhakti. Fine, so let us begin. First is your core sector output growth, which slows to 3 month low in September. Fatafat say write down in the comment section and tell me what is this meaning of core sector. Why are we calling some sectors of the economy, or you can say some industries, as core sector? What is the meaning of core sector, and which are the core sector industries? There are 8 core sector industries, and so many times I have given you an acronym to remember the core sector uh, uh, industries. So फटाफट से write down in the comment section, then I'm going to move forward. So this is your output growth, core sector output growth for September 2025. Now it is at a 3 month low of 3% in September. This is provisional data of Ministry of Commerce. Okay, if I talk about the previous month, then in August growth was 6.5%. There was expansion, है ना? Which was revised from 6.3%. But now we have seen a slow in the growth. Now, why? We are going to see those. reasons. So Darshan is saying double C nahi triple C friends है ना, this is the acronym. Triple C friends is the acronym for remembering the core sector industries. Why do we call these core sector industries? Because they are very crucial for the overall economic development. These are very crucial for the overall economic development of the country. They are the base of a country. They form the industrial base of the country, and that is why these are very, very important. Now, to remember the eight core industries, I taught you an acronym which is your triple C, friends. That means coal, crude oil, cement, है ना? So, triple C, fertilizers, refinery, electricity, natural gas, and steel. Right? So these are your eight core industries. Please learn it and remember this. ठीक है? Yes, John, cement, crude oil, coal, steel, electricity, fertilizer, natural gas, refinery products. Very, very good. ठीक है? Refinery products. Absolutely correct. Bhakti, coal, crude oil, electricity, natural gas, fertilizers. Very good. Cement, steel, refinery products. Very good. ठीक है? Absolutely correct. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे these are the core sector industries. We've already seen how to remember these triple C friends. ठीक है? And they collectively account for 40% of India's total industrial output. So 40% of the total industrial output is from these core sectors. Remember such kind of statements also. You can get, if you get a question related to core sector in your long answer, in your descriptive answer writing, then you can add such statements and it is going to give you an edge over others also. ठीक है? Then so if you see the contraction in September 25, coal output contracted 1.2% after 9.2 rise in August. Crude oil declined 1.3%, natural gas fell 2.8%, refinery products declined. So you can see that in coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, these you should know the name. That in September 2025, which four core sectors saw a decline? So which sector saw a decline? Coal, ठीक है, coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products. Which sectors saw positive growth? Fertilizer, cement, steel, electricity. Remember this. ठीक है, so four in the decline category and four in the upward category. Remember this. ठीक है. अच्छा, if I talk about overall core sector growth trend, then after strong expansion in July, August, momentum faded in September. We've seen this. Now, what are the reasons for it? Because of weakness in mining, refining, and energy segments. Because of this, overall performance was also dragged. So, this is the reason why core sector performance slowed. IIP data index of industrial production data for August 2025 showed a 4% rise driven mainly by mining. ठीक है. अच्छा, IIP we are discussing about, there was this news recently that we are discussing about changing the base years of GDP, of CPI, of IIP. Can anyone tell me, here we have index of industrial production. Can anyone tell me what will be the revised base year of IIP? What was the previous base year and what is going to be the revised base year of IIP? If you know, write down in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm going to give you a homework of this. ठीक है? So John and Sudarshan are saying new base year for IIP 22-23. Sudarshan is also saying 22-23. Bhakti said pehle it was 2011-12, now 22-23. Absolutely correct. WPI ka also 22-23. ठीक है, 22-23. Remember this for IIP, WPI. We are going to revise it to 22-23. CPI very good 2024. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. CPI 2024. व्हाट अबाउट GDP? देन GDP का भी फटाफट से बता दो. व्हाट आर वी गोइंग टू रिवाइज द बेस ईयर टू? GDP also 22-23. वेरी गुड. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. सो रिमेंबर दीज इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स. ठीक है, देन IIP for July 25 was revised upward. Industrial activity was flat in August 24. चलो, this is not that important. ठीक है. Sorry. If I talk about this HSBC India manufacturing PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, again very important, showed expansion at its slowest pace in 4 months, dropping from 59.3 in August and 59.1 in July to 58.6 in September. So, your PMI. What is Purchasing Managers Index? ये भी फटाफट से बता दो. What is the meaning of this Purchasing Managers Index? Very, very important again. You should know about this also. So many times in my classes I have explained what PMI is. So फटाफट से write down in the comment section and tell me. Tab tak, let's take a look at this. So you can see here decline, decline, decline in which all sectors? Sorry, this coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery. Four. Okay, there is a decline. So in coal, remember coal, crude oil. These facts are important. Directly, question can be stated. Coal, crude oil, natural gas, and refinery may decline. बाकी सब में there is a slight increase or stable growth. ठीक है, fine. Journalism orders by managers. See, when I talk about purchasing managers index, what do we do is we take up a survey of the purchasing managers, basically survey of the businessmen. ठीक है, we take survey of the businessmen. We ask them कि भाई what do you think that the business activity is going to increase or decrease? There's going to be expansion or contraction. ठीक है, on that basis we calculate a value. If your value is greater than 50, then we see expansion. ठीक है, if your value is less than 50, we see contraction. ठीक है, if your value is equal to 50, that means there is neutral, there is no contraction, there is no expansion. ठीक है, now if you see here it is still 58.6, so it is above 50, which shows expansion only. But as compared to the previous month, like July it was 59.1, August it was 59.3, as compared to the previous month there is a slow growth rate. So rate is increasing but at a slower rate. Fine. This you have to remember what purchasing managers index is. Okay. Then next news is related to precious metals, which fall. The fall in this precious metals hit the ETF buyers. Plunge in precious metal hits recent bullion ETF buyers. So many we have. Recently we were seeing that the prices of gold, the prices of silver were skyrocketing, and people were investing in these exchange traded funds. है ना, people were investing in this gold and silver, है ना, in biscuits and all. तो बुलियन मार्केट में वी सॉ एन एक्सपेंशन इन द बुलियन मार्केट. तो अब यहाँ पे क्या है, what is the news that there is a price fall in these precious metals. So those who bought gold and silver during the festive period, they have faced losses because of a decline in the prices. बहुत ज़्यादा decline भी नहीं हुआ है, but slight decline. ठीक है, but though the experts are saying कि ठीक है, keep adding yours into the safe haven assets like gold and silver, because long term में they will obviously going to yield you a positive return only. ठीक है. On 16th October, domestic spot 999 silver fell 15% to 152,501 per kg on 22nd October. So we were seeing a rise, but beach में we saw a dip also. ठीक है, 995 spot gold dropped. ठीक है, Nippon gold ETF declined by 2.3%. अच्छा, what are exchange traded funds? Can anyone tell me in the comment section? What is the meaning of exchange traded funds? इसमें what do we actually do in this ETFs? We are talking about gold ETFs. सीधा सीधा gold नहीं खरीदना, तो gold का ETF में invest कर दो. ठीक है, so what is this? Anyone? So silver exchange traded funds have also suffered more. ठीक है, most ETF buying was driven by institutional players, so it was more of the institutions who were buying the ETFs, like central banks, large investors and all, है ना. If I talk about market factors and trends, gold gained 62%, silver surged 77% year to date. If we talk about the overall trend, है ना, India's forex reserves rose 13.1% as of June, up from 9.6%. International gold prices dropped 7.9%. ठीक है, when there was a deal between US and China. Volatility is there. Since 10th October, silver ETFs traded at a steep premium. ठीक है, as spot silver prices fell faster due to higher festival demand, delayed physical deliveries. So basically, what you have to understand over here is that though there was an increase in prices of gold and silver, we saw a reduction in the prices, which is impacting the ETF buyers. Now, what exchange traded funds are? That is what I asked in the comment section. Bhakti Singh, diversification of mutual fund and stocks. Does anyone else know what ETFs are? Nobody else? Exchange traded funds? See, what do we do in case of exchange traded fund? We collect money from a group of investors. So we collect money, okay, and we invest them in different. It is a diversified kind of portfolio, some in equity and all, and then we trade it on the stock exchange. Okay, so money. So if you know people who those who want to invest in a gold ETF, we collect money from them, and together we, as one stock, we trade it on the stock exchange. Okay, that is what is your exchange traded fund. This is a good alternative if you want to invest. If you do not want to buy direct gold, you can obviously invest like this. ठीक है. Next news is Google unveils quantum computing breakthrough over here. So what is the news? That Alphabet's Google achieved a significant milestone in quantum computing by running an algorithm on its Willow quantum computing chip. So you need to know this name. What is it? Willow quantum computing chip. ठीक है? Very important. Fine. So Willow quantum computing chip है ये. So this algorithm was run by this Willow quantum computing chip. What is the name of the algorithm? Quantum echoes. So what is the name of the algorithm? It is quantum echoes. What is the name of the chip? It is Willow. Okay, quantum echoes, and name of the chip is Willow quantum computing chip. Okay, fine. This experiment demonstrated that quantum platforms can outperform classical supercomputers, because if you see here, this algorithm was run, and this ran 13,000 times faster than the best existing supercomputer in the world. So this is a major breakthrough कि इतना भी कुछ फास्ट चल सकता है कंप्यूटर के फॉर्म में, है ना. So, what were the findings? They were published in Science Journal Nature, verified by repetition. Okay, Google stated that this breakthrough paves the way for practical quantum applications within 5 years. So, within 5 years, we are going to have actually the practical implications of this quantum computing. Quantum computers, they process information in a parallel rather than sequentially, unlike traditional computers, which make them exponentially faster. So, quantum computers are very fast computers. You're going to understand what these are. ठीक है अभी in the next few slides. Quantum echoes algorithm 13,000 times faster than the most powerful supercomputer. Google said this opens possibilities across multiple fields like medicine, battery design, material science. It is going to fast track all of this. ठीक है. Willow chip solved a problem in 5 minutes that would take a supercomputer 10 septillion years, as reported earlier. So this Willow chip can solve a problem very very fast. So this is a very major breakthrough and a very great breakthrough. ठीक है. ठीक है. So we need to bring quantum computing to mainstream use. This is according to Marco Brain. Scott Aronson, a computer scientist at University of Texas, reviewed this work and praised the advancement, but cautioned that achieving fault-tolerant, error-free quantum computing is a challenge. So, what is one major challenge? One major challenge is that how can we develop quantum computing which is error-free? Okay, fine. These quantum echoes, if I talk about the research application of quantum echoes algorithm, it can focus on examining molecular structures by computing distances between atoms. So in science, it is going to really help. It is going to transform industries like drug discovery, battery technology, material science, right? ठीक है. The Google team, which includes 2025 Nobel Prize winner in physics, uh, Michelle H. Devoret, plans to further expand quantum computing. Okay, and this experiment by Google, in this quantum computing race, this is competing with Microsoft, IBM, several startups also. And so, what is quantum computing? It is a branch of computer science that applies the principles of quantum mechanics. So, we use quantum mechanics, ठीक है, the science of matter and energy behavior at atomic and subatomic levels. So we studied at atomic and subatomic levels. Unlike the classical computers, they use binary units, and quantum computing may use quantum bits or qubits. That is how it is different from the traditional computers. ठीक है, qubit can represent both 0 and 1 simultaneously. Binary में क्या है, 0 1 1 0, ऐसे ऐसे करके one by one you can use these two numbers. Qubit में simultaneously 0 and 1 can be used together. ठीक है, which is called superposition, which is a positive thing. This is a unique ability which helps in faster processing of data. ठीक है, this is the benefit of quantum computing. ठीक है. Now, Indian rival to GPS gets boost from new BIS norms. So now we are talking about NavIC over here, which is navigation with Indian constellation. ठीक है. NavIC is, it is going to provide us with location services and all. Location based services will be provided by using indigenous technology. ठीक है. So NavIC is India's localized version of the GPS. So जैसे we have the GPS which is US based, we have NavIC at the Indian level, which is developed by ISRO. It was designed to reduce India's dependence on foreign navigation systems so that we can get accurate results, especially after India was denied access to high precision GPS data during 1999 Kargil conflict. So we were denied access during this Kargil conflict, and that is why we decided कि यार अपना navigation system होना is very very important. ठीक है. Now what are these new BIS standards? For the first time, government has introduced comprehensive standards for NavIC receivers. The Bureau of Indian Standards has developed a framework ensuring that all NavIC compatible devices meet accuracy testing and performance benchmarks. That means now in our mobile phones, the new mobile phones, in our compatible devices, NavIC will be available. ठीक है. So BIS has adopted a framework wherein there should be accuracy testing and performance benchmarks properly made. ठीक है. Goal is to promote wider adoption of NavIC across location based services, navigation devices and mobile applications. ठीक है. In this BIS document, it mandates all certified receivers must support ISRO's civilian standard positioning service signals. So you have to meet and support ISRO's civilian standard positioning service signals, and these are transmitted in L1, L5 and S bands. So remember this, which all bands? L1, L5 and S bands. Okay, L1, L5 and S bands, ensuring wide compatibility and robust reception across various terrains. Okay, these standards are expected to serve as a benchmark for all future NavIC enabled consumer and industrial devices. Okay, then, if I talk about strategic and economic significance, the move aligns with India's broader strategy for self-reliance, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, we want to become Atmanirbhar, we want to become self-reliant, and the aim is to enable large-scale commercial integration across sectors like transport, disaster management, agriculture, digital infrastructure, logistics platforms. Okay, and major tech companies like Apple, Samsung, Jio, they are going to, bring in this NavIC in their devices. Okay. Fine. If I talk about the major global economies, you should know that USA का is GPS navigation system. Europe का navigation system is called Galileo. Russia का is called GLONASS. China का Beidou. ठीक है, you should know Bedao or Beidou, however you want to pronounce it. So US का GPS है. Galileo is of Europe. GLONASS is of Russia. Bedao or Beidou is of China. ठीक है. And our NavIC is it is going to enhance India's strategic autonomy. ठीक है. थोड़ा सा let's try to read about the static portion also. जैसे Bureau of Indian Standards, it is a national standards body of India. This was established by BIS Act 2016. So this is a statutory body. ठीक है. When was it formed? Through the BIS Act of 2016. This is a national standards body of India. ठीक है, it plays a very important role in developing and implementing standards so that harmonious growth of standardization is maintained, marking quality certification of goods is done. ठीक है, BIS is the successor organization to Indian Standards Institution. तो पहले it was ISI, now it is BIS. It was originally in 1947 formed, but now in 2016 the name was also changed to Bureau of Indian Standards. And the major aim is to standardize and also cover consumer safety, product quality assurance, international coordination. ठीक है, नोडल मिनिस्ट्री इज मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स एंड फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ठीक है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स, फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, दिस इज द नोडल मिनिस्ट्री. वेयर इज द हेडक्वार्टर? इन न्यू दिल्ली. देयर आर रीजनल एंड ब्रांच ऑफिसेस also. ठीक है, and if I talk about international representation, then BIS represent India in global standardization platforms also. Like we have ISO, International Organization of Standardization. We have International Electrotechnical Commission also. So India's BIS represents. So BIS represents India in these global standardization organizations also. What are the objectives? Facilitating development of quality goods, consumer protection, export promotion, minimize health and safety risks, import substitution, preventing unnecessary diversification. ठीक है, they have to contribute to the national economy by bringing in safe and reliable products, health and safety assurance, support for industrial and export growth, product certification schemes and all. ठीक है, so I hope this is clear. Next news is related to the PLI schemes, that China says that India's auto PLI schemes violate the WTO norms. So China has put in an allegation that India's production linked incentive schemes for advanced chemistry cell battery storage, ठीक है, automobiles and EV production violate WTO rules. So these schemes are violating the World Trade Organization rules. What are the actions taken? In China has filed a formal complaint against these measures with the WTO. ठीक है, according to WTO communication, China has sought consultations in the dispute settlement mechanism कि भाई India is providing such incentives which is against the WTO rules. This is what China is saying. ठीक है, Beijing states that measures adopted by India are contingent upon use of domestic over imported goods. Ki imported goods are not treated at par with the domestic goods. ठीक है, and we are discriminating against Chinese good. So WTO में, if you know about WTO provision, तो उसके अंदर एक provision है that we have to not discriminate between domestic and foreign goods. We have to treat them at par. है ना, this is one of the agreement in under WTO. ठीक है, so China is saying that we are violating this, India is violating this. ठीक है, China claims these measures are inconsistent with India's obligations under several WTO agreements, specifically subsidies and countervailing measures agreement, GATT general agreement on tariffs and trade, trims. It is going against SCM, GATT and uh, this trims agreement. ठीक है, what are the sector basically affected? The automobile and renewable energy sectors are basically impacted. What all programs have been mentioned by China? PLI National Program on Advanced Chemistry Cell Battery Storage. So, what is your homework over here? You're going to read about this scheme. Which scheme? PLI scheme for auto for on advanced chemistry cell battery storage. ठीक है, this is the first scheme. Second scheme, PLI scheme for automobile and auto component industry. ठीक है, PLI scheme for automobile and auto component industry. And thirdly, scheme to promote manufacturing of electric passenger cars in India. ठीक है, read about these three schemes. Your homework. ठीक है, WTO's communication is dated 20th October. Let's see what is going to be the result of this. Next news is that why are China US ratcheting up trade war again? China and US, they're once again involved in escalating trade tensions. They're threatening each other with new tariffs. Okay, so what is the reason? The impact is going to be on US soybean exports. See, China imports a lot of soybean from US. Okay, and China is targeting US soybean imports only. ठीक है, if we see the figures, US soybean exports to China $12.6 billion, EU $2.5 billion, Mexico 2.3, Indonesia 1.2, Egypt 1.1, Japan 1, 0.6 Taiwan, 0.5 Vietnam, 0.4 Bangladesh, 0.4 billion. That means maximum soybean exports of US were going to China. And China has put in restriction on these soybean exports from the US. China has suspended soybean imports, which is going to hit the US farmers a lot. ठीक है, US blames what is the latest problem over here? China, what did China do? US blamed China because of its export controls on rare earth minerals. ठीक है, and said that this is extremely hostile and threatened to impose an additional 100% duty on Chinese imports from 1st November. So what did US say? Ki, we are going to put 100% additional duty if you don't remove these. But China also retaliated. China retaliated by putting it by restricting these soybean exports of US. ठीक है? They were bringing in negotiations. They had a temporary truce also, but now tensions have flared up again. है ना? Some experts see this standoff as a power play ahead of potential meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping at Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Because China was the largest importer of US soybean. Now China is shifting its imports from Brazil and Argentina. Rather than taking from US, they are shifting towards Brazil and Argentina. And that is why it is going to impact the US farmers. China may consider resuming soybean purchases if trade deal is struck between the two countries. Okay? So they are going to meet in Seoul. And Trump is optimistic कि हाँ ठीक है, there can be a deal, there can be a temporary truce also. ठीक है, the outcome could be another temporary truce. It could involve US easing restrictions on semiconductor exports, China relaxing rare earth export restrictions. There might be reduction in port fees also. China may resume purchasing US soybeans also. ठीक है, fine. Okay, then we have a few fact based news. Let's quickly take a look at that. Gift City funds want tax removed. यहाँ पे we have this news related to Gift City. So if you guys are preparing for IFSCA, this becomes important for you. So fund managers operating in Gift City are requesting that Union Finance Ministry remove the tax collected at source. तो यहाँ पे TCS को हटाने की बात कर रहे हैं on investments made by Indians into the center. So those Indians who are investing in this IFSC, in this Gift City, in this center, वहाँ पे they have to pay a tax collected at source. TCS has to be paid. So the fund managers, they are saying कि भाई ये TCS हटाओ. ठीक है, what is this Gift City? It is India's first international financial services center. It is treated as an offshore jurisdiction for financial purposes. Abhi TCS of 20% is levied on amounts that exceed 10 lakh. So if you are investing more than 10 lakh in Gift City, you have to pay a tax collected at source. Now because of this, large scale investments are being hindered in the Gift City. इतना 20% TCS you have to pay. That is impacting the investments in Gift City. That is why they are saying that this act adds friction to the investment process. This does not this hinders the process of investment, and that is why these fund managers, they are requesting the government कि भाई ये TCS को हटा दो. ठीक है. So this TCS is not applied if you are investing in Singapore, Mauritius, or Dubai. If you are investing in these international IFSCs, then then TCS is not applied. India may 20% TCS is above 10 lakh. है ना? So the goal to remove TCS is to simplify the compliance, allow more and more investments without any kind of difficulty. Indians are currently permitted to send up to $250,000 abroad, है ना, for various purposes, including investments in assets like fund equity or debt. You should know this existing allowance also. Right? Then next we have Niti Aayog proposes new panel to supercharge net zero push. So Niti Aayog is, which is government's think tank. ठीक है, it is setting up a new panel to guide policy and coordinate multi ministry efforts for climate action. So climate action को किस तरह से हमें we have to improve the climate scenario. For that Niti Aayog is bringing in new policy. There is this new commission, low carbon development commission, which has been formed. Low carbon development commission has been formed. It would develop bankable project pipelines for both mitigation and adaptation. The aim is to mobilize $100 billion annually by building capacity to attract and absorb climate investment. So India faces 2030 deadline to achieve 500 gigawatt, है ना? So 2030 तक we have a deadline that we have to produce 500 gigawatt of renewable energy, and we have to commit emission. We have to cut the emission intensity of GDP by 45% from 2005 levels by 2030. This is also our target. You have to remember these targets. And third target is that we have to become net zero carbon emissions. We have to achieve net zero carbon emissions by the year 2070. ठीक है, so नीति आयोग is suggesting that it is going to set up National Green Financing Institute. What? National NGFT, National Green Financing NGFI, sorry, है ना? National Green Financing Institute might be developed to reduce this funding gap for climate action. ठीक है. Then next article is by Nirmala Sitharaman. She says that we need a GDP growth rate of 8% to meet our 2047 target. So what is she saying? That India needs to grow at 8% per year if you want to become a developed country by the year 2047. ठीक है. Sanjay Malhotra ji noted that economic growth continues to be below such aspirations. So our economic growth is very low. It's around 6.5, 6.7%, which is quite low. We need to sustain 8% growth, which is a very big challenge. ठीक है. Achieving high growth will require not only cyclical recovery but a structural transformation. So we have to focus on the change in the structure of our economy, which is going to boost savings, investment, productivity. ठीक है. Fine. So your a descriptive question can be made from this, that a question can be made like that, in order to uh, become or align India's vision of becoming a developed nation by 2047, uh, an aspirational growth of 8% is required on an annual basis. है ना? ऐसी a statement might be given. Then suggest, or you can start. What are the challenges that India is currently facing, and what measures can be taken up? What measures can be taken up to realize this dream? Okay, so I'm giving you this question. Such kind of a question can be formed from your current affairs. है ना? Such kind of a question can be formed. Write this answer in about 10 for about 10 marks, 400 words. If you want, you can get it checked from me also on Telegram. Okay, I will share my Telegram handle over here. Mannat Educator. You can write an answer and share your answer with me. Okay, such kind of questions can be formed from the examination point of view. Fine. So, export oriented economies of East and Southeast Asia weathered macroeconomic challenges better than those reliant on commodities. Private sector demand has to be boosted. We need to have a sensible fiscal policy. We need to focus on higher productivity, greater scale, more people in good jobs, and policies to prevent inflation and financial stability. These are some things that we need to keep in mind. ठीक है. So these were the important news articles from the newspaper. ठीक है. Please do the homework that I have told you. Whatever schemes I have told you to read about that, do that homework, and also write an answer that I have given you. Descriptive answer writing is very important. So many students have this question कि मैम current affairs से कैसा question आ सकता है. So I have given you a question over here related to current affairs. Try to write an answer on this and share with me. I will check it out. ठीक है. Now let's do a few MCQs. Let's see whether you have understood everything or not. First question. According to the article, core sector output growth slows to 3-month low in September. What was the main reason behind the slowdown in India's core infrastructure sector growth in September 25? Decline in steel and cement production, contraction in coal, crude oil, natural gas, and refinery products, sharp increase in electricity generation leading to overcapacity, high base effect from previous month's performance, increase in fertilizer and refinery output beyond sustainable levels. Very easy question. Hannah, we've already done this. What is the answer? What is the answer to the first question? Bhakti, John, Sudarshan, what is the answer? What is the major reason behind this core sector output growth which has slowed down? So we saw contraction in four sectors, है ना? We saw contraction in four sectors and a stable or improvement in four sectors. Which were the four sectors wherein we saw contraction? Coal, crude oil, natural gas, and refinery products. So your answer is B over here. Okay? What is the primary reason fund managers are requesting the removal of tax collected at source for investments into Gift City? Firstly, to increase the overall uh, remittance limit for Indians from $250,000 to a higher amount. B, because the tax refund process through tax filings is impossible for investors to complete. Third, to allow Indians to invest in new asset classes like private equity and debt markets, which are currently restricted, because the IFSC and RBI have already agreed to the removal and they are waiting for the finance ministry to simplify investment process and make Gift City more competitive with other offshore centers like Mauritius and Singapore. So, what is the major reason? What is the primary reason behind requesting the removal of TCS for investments? So Bhakti is saying E, which is absolutely correct, to simplify investment process and make Gift City more competitive with other offshore centers like Mauritius and Singapore, because वहाँ पे there is no TCS charge, so people are investing there more and hindering investments in Gift City of India. Which of the following is most essential for India to achieve sustained 8% GDP growth? Heavy reliance on government spending, high dependence on foreign capital, strong domestic savings and policies for local demand, allowing high inflation or quick growth, keeping export growth as sole growth driver. C, which is absolutely correct, strong domestic savings and policies for local demand. Okay? What is the primary annual financial mobilization target set by Niti Aayog's proposed panel for climate investment? $10 billion, 50 billion, $75 billion, $100 billion, or $500 billion? Absolutely correct. $100 billion. Very good. What is the significance of Google's quantum echoes breakthrough as described in the report? It demonstrates that Google's classical supercomputers are now 10 times faster than IBM's quantum systems. It shows that Google's new algorithm can outperform traditional supercomputers, marking a major step towards practical quantum applications. It introduces a new artificial intelligence chip used for data analysis and machine learning. It eliminates the need for any fault tolerance in computing systems. It marks the end of research competition in quantum computing worldwide. Fifth question B, which is absolutely correct. It shows that these quantum computers can outperform these traditional supercomputers. है Which of the following Indian programs specifically mentioned in the article has not been included in China's WTO compliant sorry in China's WTO complaint regarding alleged violations of trade norms? PLI scheme for automobile and auto component industry, PLI national program on advanced chemistry cell battery storage, scheme to promote manufacturing of electric passenger cars in India, scheme to promote the manufacturing of EVs, PLI scheme for textiles. Absolutely correct. Textiles wala is not included. है ना? What is the main objective behind Indian government introducing new BIS norms from for NavIC receivers? To make Indian devices dependent on GPS for international accuracy, to encourage adoption of India's indigenous satellite navigation system and reduce reliance on foreign systems, to replace current telecom standards with NavIC signals, to restrict private companies from using navigation technologies, or to create a new global version of GPS under ISRO's supervision. Very good. B is the correct answer, to encourage the adoption of India's indigenous satellite navigation system. Which of the following statements best describes the recent trends in precious metals and their ETFs according to the report? Precious metals and ETFs have seen sharp gains after Dhanteras. Institutional investors are selling off gold and silver holdings due to global economic stability. Prices of gold and silver fell sharply in October, impacting recent ETF buyers though experts advise a gradual investment. Silver ETFs may have become cheaper than spot silver because of oversupply. Forex reserves in India have declined due to falling gold prices. Eighth, you guys are saying C, which is absolutely correct. Prices of gold and silver fell sharply in October, impacting recent ETF buyers, though experts advise gradual investment. Ninth question: which of the following statements best explains recent escalation in US China trade war and its global impact? China imposed new tariffs on US automobiles, leading to retaliation by the US with agricultural bans. B. The US criticized China's control over rare earth exports and threatened 100% tariffs, while China retaliated, citing the US entity list restrictions on semiconductors. China banned all imports from US, leading to a collapse in global soybean prices and steel exports. India directly replaced China as the largest trading partner of US. Trade war has had no impact on India's trade negotiations or export prospects. Ninth question B, which is absolutely correct. US criticized China's control over rare earth exports, threatened 100% tariffs. China retaliated, citing US entity list restrictions on semiconductors. Okay? So that is all from my side, everyone. This is what I wanted to discuss with you. If you guys want to connect with me beyond these sessions, you can connect with me on Telegram. This is my Telegram handle. Just type Manat Educator. You will have access to the account. Definitely do your homework that I have given and send your answer to me. I will check it out. Okay? Okay, John Bhakti, thank you so much. You too have a good day, and I will see you all in my next one. Till then, I wish you all the best and keep studying for your examination. Bye bye, everyone.